Hi everybody, this is Amanda and I wanted to do a flip through of my December album from 2020. Now I don't do one of these every year, but this year I decided that I wanted to because it was just a strange year and maybe things would be different than our normal traditions and I wanted to document that. So as you can see, this is a quite chunky album, but I got lots of good things in here. I started with a Simple Stories 6x8 album, and I did this blue color. Even though it doesn't match this collection perfectly, I thought it was complimentary enough and I really like how it turned out. So the collection that I used for this album is also Simple Stories. It's the Winter Cottage, and I bought a 6x8 paper pad, a 12x12 collection kit, the thickers that have the letters on them and all kinds of things, the stickers and puffy stickers, enamel dots, chipboard. I got all of it. So you will see bits and pieces of everything. And this is one of the 6x8 papers and some stickers. And the sticker book. So some stickers from everywhere. And let's get started. So I just stuck a 6x8 paper in here to put on my front cover just so it doesn't look blank. And then I started with a 2x2 square page and I filled each square with different things. Some of them are see-through, like this one. So I put a sticker on the front and on the back so that they matched. And then I also have a couple of shaker pockets, and then I put a wood veneer in one of them, and then some of them have the 2x2 squares as well. So, and I put my date of 2020. So my album actually doesn't start in December. It actually starts in November, and very early November, because this year I put my Christmas up at the beginning of November. I am not even going to lie. I love Christmas, and working in a school and doing all those things, I needed Christmas this year. So this is a picture of my finished Christmas tree downstairs and just used a few stickers. And then some of my decorations, some of my favorite decorations, like my big barnwood sienna that sits by my front door. And I have these little carolers that sit out in my kitchen. And then I have a real tree, real full-size tree in my bedroom. I know that sounds crazy, but I do enjoy it. And then I always watch A Christmas Story while I'm putting up my tree downstairs, so I wanted to document that. That's one of my traditions. And this year, I'm very short, so 7.5-foot tree, I cannot reach the top, so I always have to have the step stool, which my son took over this year, and it looks like a little rat's nest or magpie's nest, where he's taken his blanket and all his toys, and he's been watching the iPad. So for Thanksgiving this year, we usually go to a state park, and it's usually my extended family, so there's usually lots of us there. This year it was much, much, much smaller and much different, but we still did go to a state park. It was just me and my husband, and then my mom and dad and my grandmother. So this is Finn. He got to hike some, and then we got to spend Thanksgiving with them. And then my cousins also came, a couple of my cousins came up, not all of them, just two. And so we got to spend some time with them. So these are just a few things. Now, I saw this little method of the little waterfall thing in Laura Albert's video, one of her videos that she did for her December daily. And I thought, what a great way to get a lot of pictures on a page. And so that you saw how chunky my album is, and I needed some space. So for my Thanksgiving pictures of him in front of the cabin and things like that, and then him with Lucas, his cousin that he loves, and then of course my mom and my grandmother and Lucas and Finn. And then my Uncle David came by to visit one afternoon, and of course we were socially distanced, and this was outside, and they wore masks when they were sitting and talking near each other. So but he did come to visit. And then this is where we were putting together puzzles in front of the fireplace and watching The Greatest Showman all weekend. It was amazing. And then here's another one of the puzzles we did. That's just something we enjoy doing, and we usually do that at Thanksgiving time too. We got home, and my son was being silly, and my husband had bought him this new Santa I Know Him shirt. So I just took a picture. Then the Sunday after Thanksgiving is when I always finish my Christmas cards and get them ready to mail out so that they are mailed out the Monday after Thanksgiving. That way I don't forget and I don't get behind. So this is this, and then this is a copy of our Christmas card this year, which is my son with Santa in the snow, and then some more pictures of him with Santa. Then the Monday after Thanksgiving this year, we got snow, and it's really hard to see in the picture, but it was snowing outside. So I documented it snowing. There's some falling snowflakes. And this winter cottage was perfect for this because it's all about snow. It's not very Christmassy. There's no Santas in it, but I was able to supplement with the Simple Stories Vintage Christmas Santa sticker book to add some Santa stuff. So we found out at Thanksgiving, the Sunday after Thanksgiving, that my son had been exposed to COVID at school, and so our class had to quarantine, or his class had to quarantine, so of course I had to stay home with him because you can't have a kindergartner home by himself. So this is our week at home. So this is that Monday where we didn't have anything to do because we had just found out. So the first, which was a Tuesday, we actually started distance learning. And as you can see, all the snow outside, he was so sad because he thought he'd get a snow day. But since it was virtual, we had class that day. So we're sitting here doing our work. One of the things we did that day was they had to try something new for the first time. And if they had been at school, they would have tried gingerbread. So he wanted to try hot chocolate. Never had hot chocolate. Look at that grin on his face. Then this, and the last picture was not very happy, so I left it off. He does not like hot chocolate, but oh well. The second day, I decided to do our advent calendar. I made this for him because I had lost my mind when he was little, and so I sewed all these things. And what better thing to sew than stars, which are ridiculously hard to sew, and stars with pockets, and then trying to attach them to each other. But he calls them his presents from the stars, and I love that. So I'm super excited that I made it, and it's works, and we have used it for years, and I'm glad that it's reusable because I will never do that again. He also gets this little chocolate candy one, and this one is a SpongeBob, and he loves it. So I think they're like $2, and my husband buys them every year. So he gets chocolate, and then he gets a present from the stars. On the 3rd, my husband's company, every year, their present to their employees, they send them a Santa, and it's always wrapped, and it's a different themed Santa every year. So on the 3rd this year, we got our Santa, and Finn was super excited to open it, especially since we were home and having to do virtual school and all those kinds of things. That was a nice little pick-me-up. So he opened the Santa and took a picture with him in front of the fireplace. Being home did mean we got to read a lot more. We also watched movies. I probably should have documented that, but I didn't. So I'm reading Charlie Brown and Llama Llama, and so I documented us snuggling and reading. On the 5th, my husband got to referee the state championship football game, and this is him at the football game. And also our neighbors did this little thing up in the window where they had a Santa's workshop, and it was like a video kind of thing. And it was so cool. And Finn and I were walking down the street, and we went to go see it when it was dark outside. So this is him looking in the neighbor's house at their Santa's workshop. And then we watched my husband on TV because, as you can tell by the way he's dressed, it was very, very, very cold, and we didn't go because it was below 30. And we just weren't doing that. So he wanted us to watch from home so we didn't get sick, and we watched him on TV. Day 6, I was wrapping presents, and I also included some of the wrapping papers that we used. So on this card, I used these 2 wrapping papers for everybody's presents, and then every year I use Snoopy for my son because he loves Snoopy. So I use that for his Christmas presents. So that's us wrapping. On the 7th, we got to go back to school, so he and I took a picture in the car before we went into school that day that says, "Yay, we're back to school." On Tuesday, I started a new present for someone. Again, not my favorite, but I had to order yarn online. I usually go to the yarn store, but I didn't this year because of COVID. So I ordered yarn online, and it was back ordered, and it got here super later than I ordered it. So, but I was able to get it and get it started, and I actually did finish it. I also got a ornament from my friend. I love Snoop. And so "'Twas the nizzle before Christmasle." So I enjoyed that. And then on Tuesdays I go to the bank, and so sometimes I'll make a run by Sonic and get cheese sticks and drinks for the other lady and myself and the other lady in the office, and it's really nice. So that day I did that as a little treat. Now this has got Post-it notes on it because his class, and they usually do a Christmas program, and this year they weren't able to do that, so they did a Christmas parade through the hallways so the kids in the other classes could see, and they all dressed up as parts of the nativity, and my son was excited because he got to be a donkey. I'm not even gonna lie, he was super thrilled to be the donkey. He got to walk in the nativity parade, and this is them coming through the office and him at the end of the day with his little donkey ears on. One of my friends at school, a family friend, got him some presents, and he got to open them this night, and he was super excited to open early Christmas presents. And then on the 11th, that Friday, the Santa came by school, and he looked through the windows, and he walked down the halls and said ho 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 and all of those kinds of things. He didn't sit with the kiddos or anything like that, and he just kind of walked through. So but we're very grateful that he was able to come, and he usually comes every year and talks to all the kids and does things with all the kids and has his picture taken, but this year he couldn't do that. But he stopped by to see me before he left the office. So this is us at school. And then this was supposed to be a flip-up page, and I never did it, so we'll just ignore that. On the 12th, we had some Christmas shopping we had to finish doing, and so we went super early with our masks. He's holding his mask in his hand, I promise. And I took a couple of pictures at one of the displays, and then we actually just took pictures. So these are the bookmark style pictures that you can do on the Canon Selfie. So if you haven't tried those, they're really neat, really fun. And then I put a little tag kind of explaining how we went early, we wore our masks, lots of hand sanitizer, and we were home by lunchtime. So definitely a different kind of year. On the 13th, once a month, my friends get together and we scrap on Zoom. And so I took a picture of all of us on Zoom where we had been scrapping. And especially now that COVID's in place, I need this Sunday. So we get together once a month and we crop on Zoom. And so that was what I did on that day. The next day, we found out our neighbors had COVID a couple of days before this and thought they could use a little pick-me-up. So we went and got them presents and put them on their porch, things that they could do while they were at home, like nail stuff and coloring stuff and things like that. So we played elf and left some little gifts out for our neighbors. On the 15th, my son and my husband had played and built together these little Lego creature things, and he was super excited, and that's all he did that day was play with Legos. So, well, after school, he just played with Legos. So, at school every year they do pictures, and this was his school Christmas picture. And then his kindergarten class sent a Christmas card. I've knocked out all their faces except for mine, but this is their Christmas card that they sent to all the parents, and this is a picture that the teacher sent from in the classroom where they were doing stuff. And the 16th was my last day of work, and I'm a church and school secretary, so I work for both, and I had all these bulletins to do so that I could not have to come in during the 2-week Christmas break. So as you can see, that's a lot of bulletins for a couple of weeks, but anyway, I thought I'd document all that work. On the 17th, I wanted to document some of our favorite ornaments. These each have special meaning to me. They're just different things. Some are handmade by my children. One is from the state park we went to for Thanksgiving. One is the one that a friend gave me, and I love little trolls, so I got a troll one. And some of these are from our travels. So, yeah, I just wanted to document some of our favorite ornaments from our travels and you know, just life. So, and I listed them and what they are here. Next, I wanted to celebrate my new Christmas mug that I got that day we went Christmas shopping. I found this in a store. It says Pink Nightmare. It's a Christmas story. I think it's hilarious. I love coffee. I love the Christmas story. So it was a match made in heaven. So I drink out of this cup almost every day after I got it. So I wanted to take a picture and document it. This day, my husband stopped and got me a Dunkin' Donuts coffee, which is delicious. They're iced coffee. And then he also bought my son some crazy donuts. So we documented that, and I'm actually watching a Chamel video in this. So I'm drinking coffee in my bed with my Christmas tree watching Chamel. It was such a beautiful morning. Lots of fun. This day, my son was he's really into Mario, and he was playing, we have a little Nintendo, and he was playing Nintendo, but he always plays two-person so he can play Luigi, who's his favorite, because you can't just play Luigi, you have to play Mario, and then the second player is always Luigi, so he plays, and he won't really play the first one, but he'll play Luigi. Then on the 21st, I have another set of these waterfall things, and it's lights and stars. There's a drive-through thing in Pigeon Forge, or near the Gatlinburg area of Tennessee, and we live really close to that, so we went and did this drive-through Christmas lights thing because there's not really much else we could do, so we went and did the little lights. And so they have a little light show and all of those things. And these are some of the lights we saw. This was also the night of what they called the Christmas star, but it's just where the Saturn and Jupiter were so close together. And this is a picture from an app called Skyview, which if you don't have it, is amazing for looking at the stars and finding out which star is which. It's a free app. And I took this picture using that app. And then this is a picture someone else took that was of the stars. It's very, very pretty. Then on the 22nd, the 21st, while we were at this light show, we found out that my parents had COVID, so we weren't going to be able to go and visit them for Christmas. And we always on Christmas Eve make cookies for Santa. So this year we needed to have cookies for Santa. We were still going to visit my grandmother because we had a week at home or whatever before this, so we were going to visit her so that she was not by herself on Christmas since my parents could not be there. So we're going to visit her, but we had to take cookies with us for Santa, so made cookies for Santa on this day. And then that's where we checked into our hotel in the afternoon, and then we took my son to a fireworks store because they have a dedicated fireworks store in my hometown that we grew up with, and he loves fireworks, so his mind was blown, let me just tell you. Then Christmas Eve, definitely different. I don't know if you can see this, but all my family wearing masks. This is my aunt and my uncle who came to visit my grandmother for just like 30 minutes or so, but we were all distanced and all wearing our masks and everything, so we were doing that. And then this is my husband who moved forward so he could be in this picture, and his brother and his brother's two kids and their respective others. So we were sitting here, we went to visit him for Christmas Eve. Christmas Day, Santa came, brought him a present, and ate some of the cookies, and then we kind of just chilled. He got a stack full of stuff, and then he's standing toward the front, and that's my brother and his wife who stopped by for a couple minutes on Christmas Day. Then we have my son opening his present from Santa, and I don't know if you can tell his facial expressions. They were classic. He got a Nintendo Switch. He wanted a Nintendo Switch so bad, and he was so excited that he got it. So I had to document that. And then while we were in Smyrna, Nashville area, you know, of course, our town where we live, Knoxville, got lots of snow, and we missed it. But the day after Christmas, we drove home, and there was still snow on the ground, so we got out, and he played and made a snow angel and had a snowball fight with my husband and built a little snowman. So lots of fun. He loves the snow. The week after Christmas was spent playing with our Christmas presents, and he said he hates puzzles, but we put together these two puzzles, and he wanted me to take pictures of him doing the puzzles, and then he got Lego Mario, so he did that a lot. And so basically we just spent the week playing with all the toys and things we got for Christmas, and it was a good week. And then New Year's Eve, it was just the three of us, and New Year's Day, just the three of us. We had snacks and all kinds of things, and rang in the new year. Actually, we didn't even make it to midnight, but we took this picture a little before then. So that is my December album this year, which started in November and ended at New Year's. So I got lots and lots documented. And while some things were very, very different this year, some things were nice and traditionally the same. So I'm glad that I have this documented. I don't know if I'll do another one next year or not. Depends on how crazy next year is. But I'm really glad I did this. I'm glad I got it done, and I hope you enjoyed. Thanks. Bye.